This is the Farm RPG podcast with your host, Bellogan. This episode features player spotlights with Juniperlou, Stressed, and we wrap things up with a tea time. Just going to give another quick shout out to the user questions submitted on the forums. If you go to the podcast library page up at the top, there's a link where you can submit your questions. We'll do our best to answer every single one of them, to the best of our ability. And we'd love to see those come in. You may have seen some chat alerts pointing that direction at the time of this posting. That's what that's talking about. All right, enough rambling from me. Let's jump into these player spotlights. This is another player spotlight. I am your host, Bellogan. With me is Auggie.
Hello, I'm supervising today. We'll see, maybe. I feel like Belligan is more of the supervisor.
Sometimes, occasionally. And our player spot this time around is proof that occasionally calling people out and guilting them into coming on the show might just work. We'll see if that's true for a certain Mr. Orville. Let's say hi to Juniperlou.
Hello.
Hi, welcome.
Thank you.
Yeah, hey, welcome to the podcast. First of all, thanks for sending in your suggestion prior for doing an interview. That's great to hear from the community who they'd like us to talk to, and then we can go try to hunt them down, but even more so for eventually agreeing to come on the show.
I like to imagine that we're all just, in our own homes sitting in like a fancy like bathrobe and like silk jammies with like a cup of tea. I know that's not the case, but like it's the vibe I like to envision.
Yeah, I'm not that fancy. I've got like half my soda from Chipotle Grill where I picked up dinner tonight because I didn't want to stay for the company barbecue in a hotel room, making sure the AC shut off. Yep.
I'm surrounded by
magnificent.
I have Hershey Kisses wrappers next to me and a half a bag of chips.
I imagine a lot of Funko Pops.
Well, yeah, those aren't in my reach though.
Oh, okay.
But they are there. They're here. They're with me. Don't worry.
So to pretend like we can stay on topic,
We'll pretend.
Where did you first learn about Farm RPG? And how long have you been playing now?
I came across it in a Reddit thread. I think it was just the Android gaming sub on Reddit when I was looking for information about a different game. And I started playing during the May birthday event. So I think about close to 4 months now.
Was it really 4 months ago?
So, yeah.
Time hurts my head. Time hurts my head.
It's because it's the summer that just flies by, right? If it was in the middle of the winter, it would seem like it's been forever.
Yes.
But over the summer, it seems really short. So do you often go on Reddit looking up stuff for games, or is that kind of a novelty thing for you?
Yeah, not too often. I would say it was just a happy coincidence.
And did you happen to find the info on that other game you were looking for?
No, I don't think I did. But I found the Discord eventually, so I got some help.
Yay. Discord to the rescue. I think today I will change up the second sentence or the second question that asks for the sentence. This is going to be my first time changing it up because usually I'm just rewording it. So,
do we need a drum roll?
Yeah, but you can edit it in. Oh.
I'll tap on the table.
6.5 out of 10 on the drum roll. But in one sentence, why are you still playing?
Oh, that's a good question. I guess I've kind of wondered the same thing, just trying to figure out what's so compelling about it. But I guess I think it keeps on changing. The game keeps on changing the more you progress. And so, it doesn't get boring. You don't feel like you're just kind of working on the same thing over and over again or doing the same thing over and over again. As different aspects of the game for you change, like as your inventory grows or different areas open up, there's more different things to consider and you have to change your strategy. And I think that's what keeps me playing. But also the chat, the community is fun to be part of.
The chat is very fun to be part of most days.
Yeah, if you don't have the responsibility of a moderator, you probably it's a bit easier to find it fun.
Yeah, I feel
being
like
a moderator does make an element of work to it.
Yeah, but I really like you said, like, what is so compelling? It's a text based, like, Firestream just really did. He found some like magic formula of things to mishmash together, like raptors and catfish
Yep.
and these magic dudes, and you just throw a chat in there and it works.
Right.
Yes.
I like how that question sounded accusatory. Like, why are you still here? What are you doing? Like,
Well, like but it was just it's interesting to see what people will say. I think I'm gonna swap that up on people occasionally sometimes now because describe the game versus describe, like, why are you still playing after X amount of time? Different answers.
right. There's just different ways to ask the same question.
But this is better.
Anyway.
Oh,
I'm not arguing with that. I'm just
it's your
making
turn.
a point about the tone. That's okay. Yeah.
It's your turn.
Thanks for reminding me. All right. So Juniperlou, we talked about it very briefly before I hit the record button that apparently I invented how to say that username, but where did it come from?
Well, Juniper, I was going for just Juniper. It's a plant name. I like plants and I like the way the word Juniper sounds, but it was already taken. So I added on the Lou is for Louise, which is a family name, in my family that has come up a few times. And I also just like the way it sounds. So I just put them together. I ended up recently, I searched for Juniper in the, other players to see who else who had Juniper, just as their name or in their name. And I think there's about 6 of them. And I, filled their mailboxes with stuff and just to kind of say hi. So that was a little fun.
Juniper Squad.
Yeah.
I assumed it was related to the juniper plant. Yeah, shout out to the junipers. The reason I assume that is because on your bio, you do link your Instagram that has a lot of very lovely nature pictures in it.
Oh, thank you. I don't think I actually have any juniper pictures on it. I think that's one that doesn't really grow much around here, but there's other stuff that does.
Yeah, lots of other plants and fields and mushrooms, lots of mushrooms.
Yeah.
Mushroom paste in real life.
Doesn't quite work the way in real life we use it in game.
Yeah, that's what I was just kind of thinking about. I feel like if a person tried to make mushroom paste in real life, it just it wouldn't do what it does in the game at all. That was what was running through my mind.
Some mushroom paste, a big old ruby, and just smash it together and hope it holds.
We can hope. Or I'm going to take the shovel head, and the stick, and put some crushed up mushrooms. I'm going to try to dig a hole.
Maybe that's why they break so often.
Yes. That's what I said to somebody else in another segment. I don't know if it's aired or if it is currently going to air at the time of recording, but I imagine each thing is one use. Maybe not because it breaks completely, but because it needs maintenance, and we're just calling it making another one because it's easier. I can wrap my head around that. Anyways, I will get back on topic myself without Belligan having to tell me. Gold star for Auggie today. Besides Farm RPG, what other games do you like to play? Like, what was that game that you couldn't find on Reddit but found on Discord information?
That was Plant the World, which is a little bit similar to Farm RPG, where there's planting involved, but it's like you play it on the world map and you plant trees to take over like hex territory. Like the world map is all broken up into hexagons, and you plant trees on it to take over your territory. You can plant buildings to get resources from your trees, and you can attack other people's territory to take over their territory. But I mostly just like to plant my own stuff and amass my own resources. So yeah, that was the game, Plant the World. I started playing Pokemon Go during COVID when they changed some of their some of the way things worked so that if you were just stuck at home and not walking around, you could actually still play the game. But I haven't been playing that too much lately. But that's pretty much it for mobile games for me.
How about non-mobile games?
Or fun
We
hobbies.
just for non-mobile games, we just started doing a family D&D campaign. Some of my older kids have played D&D with other people before, but this is our first time for their younger siblings playing. And I'm not actually playing; I'm just helping the youngest one with her character. But it's been fun.
You're a team. That character is a team.
Yes, we're a team. Yeah.
That is awesome. Family D&D games are great until the littlest kid gets frustrated and throws a D20 at their sister's head as hard as they can. Smacks them right between the eyes.
That's oddly specific.
We're not quite there yet.
Oddly specific, Belligan.
That is oddly specific, like it might have happened in the Belligan household.
That's when you need fuzzy dice to play with.
The fuzzy D20.
Yeah. Yeah, we learned that the hard way. Might have worked out a little better.
I'm going to look those up.
All right. Well, fuzzy dice. Yeah.
The fuzzy D20.
Yeah. I was looking at some of the cool metallic ones that have like different shapes and are really artistic. That you can get online, but that would probably be even worse.
That would hurt more.
Probably would.
I'm gonna get fuzzy ones for our sessions.
Cool. Well, props to you and your family for playing D&D together. We wholeheartedly approve of that activity here on the Farm RPG podcast, believe it or not. So if there's one thing that you wish the Farm RPG community knew, may or may not be game related, what would that be?
Yeah, this was a tricky one because I feel like related to the game, there's been a lot of good advice and good answers to this question. So I thought maybe there's just some farm info that I can share. Then Fox Mulder beat me to that when he talked about corn in his spotlight. But I was going to talk about Yukon Gold potatoes, which are not corn, so maybe that'll still work. And specifically Yukon Gold because they were developed in Ontario, which is where I'm from. I think it started in the 60s was when they were first kind of developing this hybrid because there weren't any yellow flesh potato varieties in North America before that. So there was a market for them. They just needed to find one that was disease resistant and that grew well in North America. And my grandfather was a potato farmer and he helped with doing test fields. Like once they had crossbred a potato that they thought was going to be good, they asked farmers to actually try to grow it. And he was one of the farmers who helped with that. And then it was 1980 when it actually came to market. So that's your random potato trivia for today.
I would like that information. Definitely not for a quiz, but maybe for a quiz. I need to do a potato quiz now. Oh. So was he?
You certainly could.
So you're in the bloodline that was one of the first to taste the Yukon Gold potato. I'm assuming
ate them because the seed potato was very expensive. It was a precious resource. So I think they just grew them and then sent the results back to it was the University of Guelph in Ontario that was doing the research. So I don't know for sure that they tasted it before it was on the market.
I feel like I would have kept one or two of them, just for my own personal research. Like, yeah, they could have the rest, do their little tests, but I'd want to know. It's a potato.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe they did.
Well, so that was
maybe it's a dark family secret.
It might be. That was like an incredible story. And my next thing to ask you about is an interesting fact.
There's, I have this hobby, like Belligan mentioned, of the plant pictures that I take. When I go out on walks and hikes, I take pictures of different plants and animals and things that I see. I started out, just doing it to kind of learn the names of things that were around, but it was pretty slow going at first until I realized there was an app that you could use to take pictures and identify it. And there's a whole community that, when you upload an observation, you take a picture of something and you say what you think it is, and then other users can comment on it. It's called iNaturalist. So I started doing that about 5 years ago, and I have 2,800 different observations and 818 different species identified with that. So that's my hobby.
That's a lot. Wow. What's like the coolest or rarest thing you've seen or identified?
I don't know. This isn't exactly rare, but I live now on Prince Edward Island, and I had uploaded an observation of St. John's wort, which is like a plant with a yellow flower. And I didn't know for sure what it was. I put up, my guess about what it was, and a couple of other people agreed with it. And then somebody else said, I think it might be something different. And he asked me to take some more pictures of like the undersides of the leaves. And he said he thought it was a different St. John's wort that at that point, they didn't know was growing on Prince Edward Island. So he came out, the next spring. He works in, botany in like
fancy
for some,
official.
I don't know if it's for a university, but it's, that's his job as like a biodiversity thing. And he came out and he looked at it and he said, yes, this is this other kind of St. John's wort. And it's our first, confirmed specimen on Prince Edward Island. So that was, in a way, that was the rarest. I don't think it's not a particularly rare plant. They just didn't know it was here.
They sell St. John's wort at Kroger for $12.49.
Yeah,
I wanted
they use
what it looked like, and then
I know what it's for, but
now I need to know.
They use it as like a over-the-counter antidepressant, and I don't know what else, but I know that
promotes a positive mood. That's it.
That's what it does. It makes you happy.
Helps you stay feeling sunny. Mood health. Maybe it's just because they're pretty. Because there are also pictures, and they are pretty.
It is a pretty flower. Yep.
Not that
I'm big on plants.
Juniperlou has discovered that the St. John's wort grows in her place of residence and living.
At least that particular variety. Yeah.
Yeah. The subvariant.
In the Belligan household, my wife's a very avid gardener and loves to plant things, and we have all kinds of plants that I don't even know what half of them are. I'm just like the manual labor. But
right.
It's funny. She's like, we need to take this plant from here and move over to there. I'm like, okay, you're telling me the names, but I'm not sure what that is. There's a couple I know. The one that I like a lot though is the dragon fruit. Have you ever seen those bloom?
Oh wow, I haven't seen them in person, but yeah, they have quite large flowers, right?
They do. Yeah, they look like a cactus, like a skinny cactus, but they grow really fast. And they bloom, and they can have several blooms at once, but they kind of bloom in the evening and overnight, and then they shrivel up. It's like just one day, and that's it.
Wow.
They'll do that several times a year, but we always like looking at the blooms. It's usually dark because they open up at night, so it's kind of tricky to go get pictures of those. We've only ever had one in the 3 years we've had it blooming. We've only had one get pollinated, or actually had fruit from it, but those ones are fun.
Yeah, my when I was younger, the house that we lived at, just we didn't have to replant them or anything. They just grew every year. I don't know the actual name, but we called them the bleeding heart flowers because they were like upside down hearts when they bloomed, and they were really pretty. I'm gonna Google it.
Look that up. Yeah. Beyond that, the only other thing I know is like what size of hole to dig for what pot it's in, and I know you have to break up the root ball. Not just put it in as is if it's root bound. But I couldn't tell you what it is for the most part.
I can't pronounce the actual name of this plant, but it is just called the bleeding heart flower. If you just Google it. And I guess they're not upside down. They're very, very pretty. But when they're like fully bloomed, it's like they have little arms that like pop up like they're happy.
Yeah, it's neat.
Oh, interesting. They do. They look like it's like a stalk with a bunch of little hearts hanging off of it.
That's my most interesting plant knowledge.
There we go. We're not super deep on plants, obviously.
It's only corn.
Just corn. If you Google and look up those facts. Yep.
Yes. So many facts. Corn facts. Hashtag.
Awesome. Well, Juniperlou, do you have any parting words of wisdom for us?
Oh, and I don't think I have any parting words of wisdom, but I did want to let Auggie know that I listened to the most recent, well, for me anyway, the most recent Farm RPG, the D&D on the Farm RPG episode. And I thought the same thing about hammers that you thought. I thought they were hammer tools that these skeletons had, because maybe were,
Thank you.
surprised by people coming and attacking them, and they just grabbed whatever they had. It made perfect sense to me that they would just have hammers. So I wanted to let you know that you weren't alone.
Yeah. Okay. So I thought it was a hammer because I was like, okay, maybe they're trying to build something. Maybe they had like tools. Maybe there was like an axe laying somewhere. Maybe
or they were like stuck in a cave and they needed to dig their way out,
or hammer something. Maybe there's a shovel. I feel justified. Thank you.
No problem.
I'm taking notes. I need to do a much better job of describing the size of things. And it's not the first time we've been off. From what I've heard afterwards, from what I think I'm describing and what's being interpreted. So,
I mean, I rolled with it. I was like, we had the double mage hand. Dude was still holding the hammer. I was like, wow, dude must really care about this hammer.
Right?
Because I thought I could just be like, pling, like pluck it.
It was the last possession it had on the planet. It's going to hold on to it for all this was worth.
He tried.
All right. It tried. Well, thank you for that observation, Juniperlou.
No
any other feedback or criticism for the DM, feel free to send it my way. Happy to hear from you. And thanks again for being for joining and being interactive with us about the podcast and eventually coming on. It was great to have you here.
Oh, thanks for having me. It was neat to get to talk to you guys and kind of see what it's like on the other side of the podcast app screen from the speaker's point of view. It was a neat experience. Thanks very much.
Thank you for justifying the hammer.
Anytime.
Bye.
All right, welcome back. This is the Farm RPG podcast. I'm supposed to be the host. I should know what I'm doing. Belogan here. We've got our co-host Auggie as well.
I should also know what I'm doing, but I'm also just here. Maybe our guest knows what he's doing.
Maybe our guest knows. Hey, Stressed, what's going on? What are we doing here?
So today I am hosting to do a player spotlight on Belogan and Auggie. It's very nice to have both of them come on today.
Oh, you're the host. Okay. That makes more sense. You know what's going on. Go for it. Absolutely. So, host Stressed, thank you for hosting for us today. I've got a question for you. How did you find out about Farm RPG?
So, I did not find it in the normal way that most people on, that have been on the podcast says. So, I was playing League of Legends with my cousin. And I was on a Discord call with him and his friend, and they started talking about like making sturdy shields, fancy pipes, and all that stuff. It's like, what are you guys talking about? I was like, oh, we're talking about a game called Farm RPG. I was like, oh, what's it about? It's just like, farming, crafting, fishing, all that sort. So I was like, oh, that sounds interesting. But I wasn't like too convinced yet. So we played a few more like League of Legends games and so forth, and then like they kept talking about it, and I kind of like got pressure into playing. I was like, all right, I'll download and see how it is. And here we are. I am now, playing like every day, and I actually play more than my cousin and his friend now. You first started way before I did.
You found it from League of Legends. Interesting. That's the first one we've heard from that, for sure.
Yeah, I know. Most people just find off the App Store or something like that. But for me, it was just on a whim, just on Discord call, and they just happened to be playing it.
And they just kept talking about it.
League of Legends players kind of have a reputation.
I do not play the game no more, so I have retired from that fun little game.
So it looks like you've been playing since about the 2nd of June. this year. So we're a little over, 3 months now?
Mm-hmm.
The whole summer.
Yep. Whole summer
long. So given that, if you were going to describe what Farm RPG is to somebody, what would be your sales pitch?
So I would, describe it as just, there's a chat, and then like on the side is also like you can farm and stuff like that. Because I spend most of my time just chatting in all the various channels, whether it's like help or spoilers and such. Because like the community is like really the one, the big part of the game, and I feel like I made a lot of friends, around the world on most of the channels. And I usually spend most time on the help channel, just trying to help out new players or just, people who have questions. And yep, I like to think of it as the main game than the actual, farming or crafting and such.
I like that. That's kind of similar to my description. It's a great chat app, and there's this mini farming game attached to it too.
Yep, exactly.
I just want to say your username is relatable. How'd you come up with it? Where'd it come from?
So I was like debating on using like a username I always use, but I was like wanting to switch it up and so forth like that. And like I was thinking, this at the time when I was playing, I thought it was not like that big of a game, so I could probably be a little more unique or something. And then I kind of just remember like people always call me like, oh, how I do things very stressful and stuff like that. So I was like, I was supposed to call myself Stressed, and like I feel like I've embodied that username. I feel like whenever I talk in the chat, wherever people are like, what you do is really stressful. And I was like, that's why I named myself that. It was nothing too crazy, I thought it'd be cool to be called something I guess I personify in the game.
You are what your excuse me, you are what your name is. I apologize for my voice being the way it is. I am ill currently. It's fine. I'm fine.
You don't need to apologize for your voice. I'm going to get a little sidetracked. That drove me nuts last night. I was listening to the radio broadcast of a certain football game that was going very, very late. And one of the local announcers was pretty much hoarse, and he kept apologizing for it. I guess he'd called a soccer match prior. And I'm like, dude, you told us once. Don't tell us like at the start of every commercial break or when you're coming out of break.
I'll remind you between each question. It's okay. Just for you, Pelican.
All right. And if you don't, I'll edit it in. We'll make sure it happens.
I expect nothing less.
So, Stressed, what other games do you like to play besides League of Legends, which you told us you no longer play, a move which I applaud?
Yeah, I'm glad I stopped playing that game. It was definitely better for my mental health. But nowadays, I really just mainly play Farm RPG, but I did play like other big games like, Fortnite, Apex Legends, and all that, sort of things. But also like a lot of like strategy based games. So like Civilization, Solaris, Faster Than Light, if you know that game, that's an older one. Mm-hmm. And then like I recently found like some like a browser game called Zen GM Baseball and Basketball, where you just manage like a basketball team, drafting, financing, contracts, and stuff like that. I play a whole sort of games. If it sounds interesting, I'll play it. Willing to try anything. Can't judge a book by its cover.
So do you play any other farming games?
I do not know. I guess the last time I played like a farming-based game was probably like Heyday, back when Facebook was a big thing for people my age.
That's my boat. I'm like, I don't play farming games, but this is Farm RPG. Well, I know it's an exception, but generally I don't play farming games.
I did play Farmville back when I was in like middle school.
Oh yeah, that was another good one. I used to play a lot of like farming games on Facebook when they had like a bunch of Facebook games you can just play.
I apologize for my voice being the way it is. Well, so I know you said that you frequent Help Chat, and I believe you're part of the Help Chat book club. There's no trademark on that, but maybe one day there will be. I almost said Help Chat book club trademarked. So if there was one piece of advice that you could give to whoever is listening to this, what would it be? Like your top advice?
Yeah, so I think it'll just be like, there's like no right or wrong way of playing the game. Like you'll find your play style while playing the game throughout the time, whether it's, you like doing manual fishing or you like grandmastering, crops, which I'm doing right now, or you like, just doing lots of trading, so forth. Like you'll find your niche real quickly, Obviously, it's easy to compare yourself to other players. If you look at their profiles, like, oh, wow, they started around the same time I did, but they're like miles ahead of me or something like that. But the game is very, you can play in many different ways, infinite ways, you can say, and like, just, don't stress yourself over it, not like me, and play how it is and like just enjoy it. I mean, there's always new things being added. Firestream's very good at, receiving, suggestions from feedback and so forth, or like adding new things, new features. There's always something to do, whether you're starting early or you're very late game, so forth like that. So yeah.
I apologize for my voice being the way it is. Yeah, I like the don't worry about comparing yourself to others. Actually, I think at the time of recording, I think it was last night in spoilers chat, Chloe, shout out to Chloe, made a joke that she was the test account.
Some of us have been there at various points in the game. I mean, there's plenty of players who passed me that started way later than I did.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of players like that too. And like, I want to try, be, fast as possible too. But then, there's always things that will limit you too, which is good too. Like, you can't like speed run like that fast, unless you're like Blinkinade or something like that. There's still things like honey gel, corn gel that you can't, speed through, and you gotta be patient and wait for that. But that means you can also do other things in the meantime, as you wait for your corn to grow and so forth as well.
I apologize for my voice being the way it is. Corn gel never ends.
Corn gel will never end. Is that because you're adding another quest for it?
Probably someday. Last night I was looking at the world stats, and I just like audibly laughed because the top grown crops, it's corn. Corn is at like 91,000. The next highest is broccoli at like a third of that. And I just thought it was
lots
so
of
funny.
Corn growing that, and
it's all my fault.
RFC just recently had corn usage added. Yeah. So there'll be a sync for corn. Was it Large Chest 3 that has corn in it? That's helped a little bit.
Yes.
Yeah, I think there's like 10 corn in chest.
5 or 10, something like that.
There's another way to round that out. I will admit I have opened thousands of those to help get through some of those corn choke points over the last month or two. So, Stressed, you mentioned that you hang out a lot in help chat. What does that tell us about your personality? What kind of person are you that enjoys hanging out in chat, help chat, and answering questions, often the same one over and over and over again?
Yeah, I guess it's just like how I grew up is like I was always taught to like, help out other people too, and like I always like volunteered, done a lot of community service and so forth. And like now I'm kind of doing that in a different sense where I'm helping out new players, try and get get foot in the game, or like helping like later player games not sure what to do next, whether it's not sure what pet to get next, or like what quest I should focus on, so forth like that, So I try to help like that, and also it helps that there's I'm part of like the Help Chat book club, where a lot of us are trying to help out. And, the library is filled with so much information. Shout out to RKM. Hopefully you'll be on the podcast soon. Filled with a lot of details too, where we can easily reference that to them, in addition to adding more information if needed as well. Yeah, because there's always will be need help, even if it's, the same question over and over. Everyone doesn't know everything yet. I just happen to spend all day, every day in the help chat. You learn a thing or two, like shortcuts and so forth to get to library links. I feel like I should probably set up macros for like Sawmill Silver, maybe EC for Exchange Center, Pet Guide, ATI Guide.
I apologize for my voice being the way it is. And honestly, a lot of the times, if we see that people are sending a long link, a lot of the time we'll make that shortcut link.
Mm-hmm.
Like Ironwork versus Iron Depot, like there's a shortcut link.
Yep. And there's also now a shortcut page filled with all the shortcuts too. So I can easily reference to that if I forget a shortcut.
We love the shortcuts.
Yep, shortcuts of a shortcut page of shortcuts.
I apologize for my voice being the way it is. But will there be a shortcut? Will there be a shortcut page for the shortcut page?
You definitely could make one. Do LS or something like along those lines.
Be SC for shortcut. What would you make that?
But
I was thinking LS for library shortcut.
But then would you put that in the shortcuts page too?
That's a good question. I think you would too.
I don't know. I kind of think a shortcuts page to the shortcuts page would need appropriate title, like the one and only shortcut page you will ever need. So definitely have this memorized. The whole thing.
I apologize for my voice being the way it is. Still a shorter title than how to talk to your mods about responsible wheel spinning.
I don't know. There's a lot of good long titles.
That's like
I'm not making too many library pages. I don't know what you're talking about. And then the shortcuts INMTMLPIDKWYATA.
I'm just gonna got that one right. I'm not gonna fact check you on that.
Got a shout out to RKM for making that one.
And a huge shout out to RKM. We have learned recently that calling people out on the podcast just might actually get them to come on.
Personally, I was actually kind of inspired by I'm sorry, Augie, but I was inspired by Taj Lafshay's last podcast when he was on here, and I was like, after seeing someone I always see in chat, I was kind of inspired to join the podcast as well.
Come hang out. Shout out to Tad.
Well, we definitely definitely appreciate you reaching out to come on. There is one question we haven't asked you yet, although we kind of I don't know, maybe we talked about it.
Did we?
We haven't asked you about an interesting fact about yourself yet.
You skipped it.
I kind of went with the interview question, but
yeah, I was thinking about this one, but I think an interesting fact for me is if you can believe it, I wake up on the weekdays 3:30 a.m. every day and go to bed around 8 p.m. and to open my local gym, and then right after I just go straight to work. Do it every day, doing it for the past few months. That's why sometimes you see me on chat at random times in the middle of the night around 3 a.m., 4 a.m. helping people out.
So are you?
That is impressive.
Are you at the gym and playing?
I sometimes do, yeah. If I'm between workouts or something like that, taking a little rest, check on my crops or something, or if someone has a question, I can easily shoot a message.
Manual fishing on the treadmill? Yeah,
at first, when I was in college, I didn't wake up that early, maybe 6 a.m., something like that. And I guess as the time goes on, I just been slowly waking up earlier and earlier to now where it's 8:30 in the morning.
Maybe someday you'll go full circle and just become nocturnal because you wake up so early.
I possibly could. Once if daylight saving times too, technically I'll be waking up 2:30 instead.
We might foresee a graveyard shift in technical support in your future.
Exactly.
All right, awesome. Before we wrap this up, any last parting words of wise wisdom from our host, Stressed, today?
Or unwise. Doesn't have to be wise.
Yeah. I guess, talked a lot about how play styles for the farm too as well, but the game will never go away anytime soon. If you decide you need to take a break or something, saying you're growing too much corn for Jill, it's fine to not fall into that trap of just supplying her endless supplies of corn. It's always good to take a break, do other things. The game will always be here. I think I referenced a bit of what Taj and Hay said last week, but I guess I want to reiterate that because, it's still a game at the end of the day. So don't feel too stressed about it. If, not everything goes well, maybe RNG is not on your side or something.
All right, awesome. Great wise words. Well, with that, Stress, thank you so much for coming on the show, for taking the initiative to reach out. I'm assuming that's what happened.
Yeah. Yes.
Yep.
Yes. And hopefully you feel less stressed after talking.
I actually do now. I feel actually a bit relieved. I was kind of nervous going into this. I was like, maybe I should send this message. Maybe I shouldn't. But, I took that leap of faith and
here we are.
Had a good time talking to you guys.
We did it. Go team.
And if your username changed from stressed to chilled, we'll know why.
Yeah, I might. I also was thinking about probably changing my name to Sweet Baby Ray's barbecue sauce, because apparently I can.
That's a long one,
Might be trademarked. We'll see.
Yeah. I was thinking about changing it before this podcast episode, just so you can be like, we're here today with Sweet Baby Ray's barbecue sauce instead of stressed.
We need a shortcut page for it, though.
All right. Thanks again.
Yep. Thank you so much.
Bye.
Have a good one.
I apologize for my voice being the way it is.
Lovely.
Hi, it's tea time again.
Hi, welcome back to Tea Time.
The most unscripted podcast segment in the history of the world.
Right. We don't even know what we're going to talk about when we start.
You already messaged spoilers.
Yeah, I did. I had to, because we're going off nothing here.
Yes, I just added Tenfu because he's in chat.
Oh, good. Let's get Tenfu's opinion on Tea Time. Does Tenfu listen to Tea Time or even the podcast?
Know. I actually don't know. I should ask him, but I'm afraid of the answer if I ask him.
No, I'm not afraid.
What if he says no?
Yeah, that's true. That's okay. He doesn't have to listen. I won't feel bad. I don't know if you'll feel bad, but I won't feel bad.
No, I won't feel bad. The quest that came out today, everybody kept blaming me.
Oh yeah,
and it was to the point where I had to make the attention banner. Mean quest writers.
Yeah, this does not feel like a you quest.
I would never ask for 2,000 small screws. My flywheel mastery will not stand for it.
Yeah. That was tough. I did that part today. I'm on 5 right now, and I'm basically flour locked because I only had like 1,500 flour. So now I'm flour locked. Because my second load of 2,000 flour is now processing. I have the rest though, so
I'm still stuck on 3 because I need the bolts. Pata says,
"Oh yeah, I did that."
Tell the podcast consumers I said hi.
Oh yes, we're telling everybody you said hi. Cole says we need to talk about worm fwend and friendship fwend and cooking fwend. I don't know what all these ones are. The worm. Yes, the worm. He's pretty brutal. That worm kicked everybody's butt and ate so much stamina. It was eating good last weekend and this week.
And probably for a little while longer for other people. Sorry, but also not sorry.
Yeah, that worm. Delicious, delicious worm.
Wade is a big fan of the worm, though.
Wade is a big fan of the worm. That's true.
Wade is the worm's biggest friend.
That is true. I had to do the thing where you only like eat 100 apples at a time or drink 10.
I didn't bother.
I wasn't all of my stam.
I wasn't gonna drain my stamina reserve, so I just ate it. I just took the L on that one. I probably spent.
It had drained like 1 point already. So
1.3 million stam. He probably ate altogether.
Yeah, that's probably. I think I did about 500 on what was all said and done. But like all that stam that you gave in that quest, I used it all up. It's gone. So like I'm back down to like almost nothing. It's very silly, but that's okay. Just in time for more quests where I have to blow a bunch of stamps.
It's only fitting.
Yeah, exactly. I'm just going to be in a stam negatives for a while. That's okay.
The stam sand.
It's giving me something to do. It's
stam standoff.
The stam standoff
with the
sandworm.
The sandworm stam. Never mind.
The sandworm stamina standoff.
Yes.
There we go. There we go. We got it out.
Beligan, he won't cut it, but maybe he will. He won't.
No, he won't cut it.
He won't, but maybe
he won't. Maybe.
He never does.
And then Wade wants the worm as his pet. It's seeming like here. Wade, you can't have it as your pet. It's nasty. It's a bad worm. It'd be nice if that worm was nice and we could get our stam back from it, though. Maybe someday.
Talk about how I'm the fall basket. There's Nethy. Shout out to Nethy. I've been getting Nethy shout outs even without you here, by the way.
I'm so glad.
And
so Nethy today made a typo. Because somebody asked Nethy in chat today for a mushroom stew, and he said he typoed I'm the fall basket because he meant to say in the fall basket. It's in the fall basket. He said I'm the fall basket. So now Nethy is the fall basket. So I think it's very funny.
He is. Okay. Tenfu did give me a good topic, and I need to scroll to find it.
Okay, yeah, scroll.
Oh God, how far back is this? It was
what comes up must fall into. Cole's just being silly.
Cole is just a troll. Cole's a troll. The Cole troll.
Cole is a troll. The Cole troll.
.com.
He's keeping coletroll.com. He uses spoilers. Very funny at all times. Thank you, Cole.
Thank you.
So what is Tenfu's topic?
It's to talk about the sandworm's full given name. So originally it was like sandworm, like WORM, and I thought it would be cool to name it a dune worm with the Y, and then we changed it back to sand. And we were trying to think of like some good acronyms. Oh God. We talk a lot in there. And it's a lot of big paragraphs. Usually.
I bet, yeah. Oh yeah, I assume.
Oh, this is my corn quest, or my corn trivia quiz thing. Okay,
secret stuff we won't discuss.
Okay.
Stuff for Auggie to know and for everybody else to find out.
Okay, so I explained that I liked worm with the Y better than worm with the O, because when I see the word worm, I think of, and it's like a gif of like a little like dirt worm, like, you know, just slithering its way. And we were trying to come up with a cool acronym. There were a bunch of them. Tenfu said wide yield resource manager. A lot of them were resource manager. I was trying to come up with something else.
Did you guys come up with something, or is this is something we're gonna?
Yeah, it's something we haven't completely fine-tuned yet.
Okay.
But the one that I really liked, I lost it again. It was Warden of Yields, Ramuska, and then the last word, it didn't make sense. So Ramuska Memoriam, I made up a word. So that's kind of, because Ryber always says something funny and dumb, but funny. It's like it's like the perfect amount of funny. I've lost it. It's gone. What we can talk about though is the new NPC that came out with the
and his
name. And his name.
His name. Yes. What is it? Let me look at him. Hang on. I'm going to bring him up. It's Ragvin?
No, not that one. Not that one.
Oh, Frank. Frank with a 4.
Frank with the 4.
It's Frank with a 4 instead of an A.
And it's all caps. It's differentiate.
And it's all caps. Just to make it different from Frank, all lowercase.
With no 4.
Spelled normally. With no 4.
With no 4. No, that one I said it as a joke, and then it was so funny, and then we were trying to come up with acronyms for that one, and then we did, and I think I said it in the quest. It is like friendly robot 4 now kinder or something.
Yes. That's what it is. I looked through the quests. It is in there. That his icon is a little spooky, I will say. He's a little spooky looking. He's like more spooky than Roomba. He like kind of scares me just a little bit.
He's definitely like more advanced.
Yeah. He's a little scarier.
Spoilers is actively trolling me while we're recording.
Oh, what are they saying now? I haven't been paying attention.
It's always Cole. It's Cole. It's always Cole.
Oh, it's always Cole.
The last step is key. If you don't see Tenfu around, I've heard complaining to Auggie also works, and Tenfu pointing down, agreeing with it. Jay Luna says, "Don't mess up."
I mean,
too late.
We always mess up.
This is unscripted.
Mm-hmm.
Don't encourage him.
Wait. Oh, good. I'm so glad somebody's linking the corn library page. That's my favorite library page.
That's the one with the stuff. Yeah,
I know the thing. I know the corn that I had to gifify for us so that we could
live on air.
Live on air. Yeah, we gift that bad boy live on air because it was an MP4 previously for some godforsaken reason.
What does Cole? What didn't you do, Cole? I think because at the time of recording next week, you're going on your little tripperoonie.
Oh yeah, I'm on vacay next week. So
bye.
I'll still be playing the game. Like I'm literally going to a cabin in Rhode Island on a beach. Like it's the beginning of September. So like it's going to be like it's not really the most beachy weather. It's going to be cool. So I'm not going to be like, out and about. I will be online. I will just not be recording because I won't have a computer. I'll have like my iPad and that's it. And like in a house full of people. But I will be in game, so feel free to say hi to me if you see me in spoilers. I'm sure this will probably come out after I'm already back.
Maybe.
So you can say hi to me. I'll probably be in ye olde spoilers quite a bit because I'll be on vacation. Ye olde spoilers.
The place to relax if you're Boobun.
Yes, that is true. That's where I do relax, is spoilers. I'm literally always lurking. If somebody just even mentions my name, usually I will notice. So all you have to do is to summon me is usually post my name and or Frank. And I will know. You can Knarf. You can Knarf. Or yes, or you can do your popcorn count and I'll notice. So gotta post the Knarf in there.
The Knarf.
Here's something funny is that my iPad and my iPhone will autocorrect to Knarf now.
That's good.
Like if I just type a K, it puts Knarf as like the first thing, like the auto predicting text immediately. So like I don't even have to type out Knarf anymore. it just happens for me now. My phone knows me and my habits,
as it should.
As it should. I feel like nobody else probably has that happen to them where Knarf is in their predictive text, but it is for me.
Yes.
As it should be.
So the other thing that, because when we were doing our player spotlight a little earlier this evening, Juniperlou came in. Hi, Juniperlou. Shout out. You were very cool and know a lot about plants. So Juniperlou joined in and right, like 2 minutes beforehand, I ate a chip and I was like, I'm only going to eat this one chip. Mm-hmm. Sorry, Belle. Like, I'm closing up the bag now. And he was like, oh yeah, just like the Pop-Tarts, right? And so we were just in the middle of this Pop-Tarts discourse when this sweet, kind user who wanted to be on the podcast was coming through. And
oh man.
basically the moral of the story. I shouldn't have food within arm's reach when I'm recording, but also I need little snacks.
No. You need little snackies. Here's the tip: is to unpack them all before you start. You put them on a plate.
Take them out of the chips, and I still crunch them. But I still crunch.
Well, that's true. Yeah, that's true. You can mute yourself. I mute myself when I take a bite of something usually. If I'm eating on podcast, there was one podcast episode where I definitely heard myself I heard food in my mouth. Like I had the tone of voice where I had like a snacky in process of being consumed while I was speaking, and I was just like, I don't know if anybody else can tell that I was eating a snack, but
well, we all know
I
now.
do mute when I open a bag. That is true. You can tell when I actually. There is a difference in the tone of my voice when there's a snacky on board.
Yeah, well, so see, for me, when we're recording, like Zencastr is there, but I'm either, I'm like looking at the game chat, or I'm looking at the podcast page, or I'm looking at a random Google Doc of other stuff that I'm trying to do, or I have Discord open, and I'm doing like 10 things at once while I'm also thinking about muting when I'm not even thinking about taking a bite of a snacky. Like, I don't notice that I'm doing it.
I've worked in a call center for 15 years, so I'm like the mute queen. I know exactly when and like how and when to mute at all times. So like that's what you get good at when you work in a call center for 15 years is like when to mute yourself. So I'm very, very good at like just hitting that mute button. And also it's right on my headset. I can just click it and it's good to go.
Yeah, so I have to go all the way over to the tab.
The mute master.
The mute master.
Yeah, you can't mute yourself easily. I can do it very easily just because this headset is meant for it. But gotta love the mute button. Big fan. Sometimes you need to curse somebody out under your breath, and you can just do it.
You can just do it over your breath.
You can just do it. Yeah, I mean, I could do it if it was in the podcast. I would do it over my breath, but I would get tarnation.
Tarnation.
Yeah, I get tarnation people. Yeah, exactly. Though I think that a tarnation slipped through last week because I got a message from Cole about one of my tarnations on one of the episodes got through. So
I'll have to
heads
see.
Up, Belle. You missed one.
Somebody was saying something about that earlier, and I had no idea what they were talking about. Oh, you know what? I think it was Cole in chat saying something about.
He even sent me the recording. It was like
where I want to.
The tarnation filter, yeah.
I want to know.
It was
where
in the last tea time. It's the last tea time. It's when I accidentally guessed the wrong raptor fact in the quiz, and like it wasn't exactly when I did it, but it was like a couple minutes later when we were recapping something, and I said like gosh darn it, but I didn't say gosh darn it.
I mean, that's not necessarily
it's not a bad one. It's not a super bad one, but he's tarnationed it before.
Yeah.
Yes, it's been tarnationed before, but now you're gonna get tarnation.
maybe I won't. We'll have to see what Belkin decides.
Maybe you won't. Maybe Belkin will miss that one. Everybody gets one.
I don't want that to be my one though.
Well, you wasted
That's like a lame one.
Too bad. That is, I know.
Golly.
I mean, it's kind of like South Park. You get like one per season, right? I think South Park they get like one.
They get
emoji per season.
Yeah, it's a Christmas special usually.
Yeah, exactly.
Did you know that they did the 25th anniversary? Like they had an entire concert in Red Rocks, California, or not California, Colorado, and we watched it. It's on Paramount Plus, and we watched it on Paramount Plus. And then one of our friends actually lives in like the Boulder area, and like 2 days ago went to a normal concert at the same place. It's just a concert venue between between giant rocks.
Two mountains.
They're like kind of. So they're not like mountains, but like they kind of are. And it's like naturally carved away, and they just like built a stage and like put in like stadium seating. And like this rock.
That sounds cool though. We don't have any. I mean, we do have some very old concert venues here, but yeah, that's neat. That's kind of neat in between two rocks. I wonder if the acoustics are pretty good.
I can only imagine.
Between two rocks. Between two ferns. Did you ever watch Between Two Ferns? It's very good.
No.
Funny
what is
internet
it? What
program.
Is that?
It was Zach Galifianakis, like doing
the guy
big
whose
talk
name.
show.
The guy with the name.
Zach Galifianakis. Yes, the guy with the name. But he's doing like a talk show, and he's like, interviewing celebrities, and he plays it very like straight.
Oh, you know what?
Like
I
he's
feel
asking very funny things.
I feel like that sounds like a fever dream that like I really vaguely remember. Did someone steal a fern at one point, or like did he take the fern on a road trip?
I think so. Like they did make a movie. They made a movie at one point where it was like the movie, like it was like a movie length episode, and it was pretty funny. Also, it's a fun jaunt.
Why is that what I remember from that entire thing? That's all I
don't
remember.
know, but
that's all I remember. He took the fern in a car and then was trying to keep it safe or something. And then I don't know. He just he had it with him.
Yeah, I think they do go on a little road trip in the movie of Between Two Ferns. It's very it's good. It's funny. They play it very straight, and all the celebrities play it pretty straight too. But they're all in on the joke. It's very good. He just asks ridiculous questions and is very antagonistic the entire time.
I've watched. I can't remember, but I have watched it.
Yeah, it's like some of that like non-comedy comedy. Like I'm into that kind of comedy, like the Tim and Eric stuff and the Between Two Ferns and Nathan Fielder and all that.
Yes, Nathan Fielder is a genius.
Yeah, it's so good.
I can't necessarily recommend his new show for the younger audiences.
Oh yeah. Nothing I watch is probably good for younger people.
Like, Nathan for you in particular actually probably would be okay for whatever.
Nathan for you is okay.
But like the How To with John Wilson, definitely not for the younger audience. Like absolutely not. Do not let your kids watch that one. But
have you watched any of the Tim Robinson I Think You Should Leave show?
No, what is that?
It's on Netflix. It's like a skit comedy show by Tim Robinson. It's very funny. You should watch it. It's deranged. It's like extremely deranged. Also, probably not good for kids, but like it's very good. I love it very much. Yes, it's good for us. If you like that kind of thing, you'll enjoy it. Yes, it's good for adults. But yes, I love it very much. It's unhinged.
So random ADHD remembrance that my brain had. One of the kids at one of my students, they had to do like state testing today. Ew. Actually, they were doing it all week. Ew. And
Jeez.
when they were done, because it was like 3.5 hours of their morning for 3 days in a row. But when they're done, they can kind of do whatever. Like they can play a game on their laptop or whatever, as long as they had headphones in. And one of the kids,
right?
I
praised the wall.
Tarnation you not, was on a website that when I was a child, I went on, and it was like cyber chase games, like that PBS Kids show and like the bad guy is like green. It's hacker. He's green. He's got like a parrot or something, and and I was like my jaw. I didn't say anything to him, but like low key, I was like looking over his shoulder to watch what he was doing.
Yeah,
and I wanted to play. I wanted to be doing that too, as well. Also,
it's so weird, like when people of the younger generation get into the stuff that you did as a child. I mean, that doesn't really happen to me anymore, just because I'm ye oldie. So like, a lot of the stuff that I played online is completely gone off the internet. So like, it's like wiped off the face of the planet. But I like played around in Neopets as a teenager.
But
so like people getting into Neopets now.
There's so many like random like games that like were Flash games, like obviously those, but they've like modified them so they're not Flash, like they're on whatever random game sites, like the Duck Life game, and a random like game where you like it's like you build a world by putting things down in a certain order, and like the little animations happen. I don't know what it's called. The Little Alchemy.
I don't know this one.
Little Alchemy is a good one. It's mix two things together, get new material, mix more things together, get more materials. But that's the entire
See, I want to
game.
see kids playing like The Incredible Machine. Like when I was a kid in computer class, this is dating myself, we played like, it's called The Incredible Machine. And it was like, you build yourself a Rube Goldberg machine. It's very cool.
I would play
I don't
that
know. Or
as
number
an adult.
munchers. Yeah, I would love to play it now. Let me see if I can even get The Incredible Machine anywhere.
One of my kids actually plays that, like, you know, like when your computer goes offline and Google has a little like dinosaur jumpy game.
Mm-hmm.
He just plays that. Like there's a version of it where you don't have to be offline.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Really? That's interesting.
Yeah.
So he's just playing that. Doesn't that just go on forever though? It's like never ending.
Correct.
Oh, I looked up The Incredible Machine. It came out in 1993. Sorry, guys. I don't know if you can play this anywhere. Oh, they had one come out in 2011, though. Probably a newer one. But The Incredible Machine just looking at these screenshots brings back memories. I'd play this right now. You could get little mice and they would run around on a wheel and you can make the wheel spin and power different things. And it was crazy. It's making me wish I could go back in time, play some Incredible Machine. Though I will say I did pick up
little pixel game.
It's like, yeah, I guess it had to be back then. It was on a PC. It was like it's pixely. It looks very rudimentary now as looking at it as an adult, and knowing how games look these days. But it looks like a PC game from 2000 or from 1993 for sure. It's like on like a blue background and you just like build a weird machine.
It looks like Mario Maker, but like that's what it looks like.
It's very similar to Mario Maker, but you're making like a Rube Goldberg machine to like do different things. Yeah, it's like a puzzle game. Like you have to solve like the puzzle. It's good. It's a good time. But over this weekend, I went to Retro World, which was at
Retro Game World Expo.
Yeah, exactly.
I've been to one of those. I'm from there, and I went to one. I went to one for free because I was helping run a Smash tournament, and we got free we got free Red Bull, and I hate Red Bull, so I had to pay money to drink.
I love Red Bull.
I think I got Starbies, but that's
I would have loved your Red Bull. I love Red Bull. I'm a big Red Bull fan. But we went there this weekend. And we finally picked up we got the last Pokemon game we needed for our collection, which was Pokemon Ruby, which somehow we were missing. So now we have every mainline Pokemon game in our collection, physical. But I also got myself like a nice LED screen, like GBA. Like I got a Game Boy Advance with like an LED backlit screen. It's so good. I'm very happy with that purchase. I like decided to splurge and pick one up, and I got Hamtaro for the Game Boy Color.
Wait.
Hamtaro.
Yeah,
Ham-Hams Unite.
You should get Ham Heartbreak.
I would like to. I think it's kind of expensive at this point.
It is kind of expensive, and I bought it kind of expensive because I had a copy, and then I don't remember what happened to it. I might have lost it when I moved, or it wasn't really mine. I had borrowed it and gave it back, but I was really sad. It was like
Ham Heartbreak goes for.
I paid like $45 for it. It's like it shouldn't be, but is.
Yeah, I mean, Ham Unite is actually like a good game. I don't know, is Ham Heartbreak okay? Like,
I loved it.
Hamtaro games are weird. Hamtaro games are weirdly good. I don't know why. But yeah, it's like $60. Ham Heartbreak $60. And if I wanted it in the box. And I would never. I love a physical copy of literally anything, so I'll probably buy it eventually. It's just going to take me a little bit of time to justify that purchase.
To obtain it.
I spent $35 on Ham-Hams Unite. Getting the rest is going to be also. Pokemon games are so expensive now. We spent $80 on Pokemon Ruby. So
Did you not in the box, right? Just loose.
Just loose, yeah. Pokemon Ruby.
You should have. I feel like I have a copy. I could have just mailed it to you.
Oh yeah, don't worry about it. Sell it. Sell it.
I did go through, because I worked at a retro game store for several years and just kind of I just like obtained things, like either things the store didn't buy or things that the store sold for not enough money. And it's like I just had like vastly incredible amount of things. I still have stuff I haven't gone through, but I went to a local retro game store here that like they were independently owned, so they did all their own pricings and everything. And for cash, I got like $1,000.
Yeah, heck yeah.
That's like
retro
lot.
games right now are like
they're like gold.
Really
it's all because
it's all big money.
It was all Nintendo stuff, and because that's all I ever cared about. I still have. I'm right now looking at, it's a red Nintendo 64 controller still in the box. It's not new in the box. The box has been opened and the controller has been used, but it is in the box. The box is in good condition. Like the controller box.
I mean, you know what's crazy is that we moved out of I lived in my parents' garage for a while. And when we were moving, my parents gave us some furniture for the house when we bought it. And in this piece of furniture, we opened the drawer and is literally every single N64 game box that we ever purchased. Like any game, Nintendo 64 game, when we were kids, my parents just kept the boxes pristine and put them in a drawer. So now I have like every single N64 game that I ever bought as a kid, like the actual cardboard box pristine. Like, and some of these boxes by themselves are like $50 because you really can't find them anymore because it's the box, and it has all of like the papers in it and everything. It's like, like complete in-box copies of like Super Smash Bros. And stuff like that from, the orig N64 days, Banjo-Kazooie, all that stuff. I mean, so my parents just kept it all. I know. Listen, they just kept it all. So now we have it all in the collection.
You could just pick one of those you don't really care about and barter and trade it for a Hamtaro Ham Heartbreak.
I know, I probably could. But you know what? It was so impossible to find. I didn't even find Hamtaro Ham Hams Unite at the GameCon. I asked literally every single booth. I had to order it on eBay after the fact because I was just like, I really want this game and I want to play it when I go on vacation. So I'm just going to order on eBay. So I had to order on eBay, but I got a bunch of other games. I got a bunch of other good stuff at the retro game thing. We picked up so many different things. My husband picked up so much stuff, so much ridiculous stuff. We got like so many GameCube games.
That's lovely and wonderful.
Rolling in it. Love the GameCube. So
was there a Smash tournament there? Just wondering.
I think so. More than likely. We didn't stay for it. We were only on there Saturday and we were there to shop. And then afterwards we went to this crazy, after every one of these, we've been going for a couple of years now. And after every single one, we usually stop for lunch. And there is this, like, it's called Mexifo, it's called. And it's a fusion Vietnamese Mexican restaurant. And they make like pho burritos, which is like burritos with pho fillings in them. I don't know if you know, like the pho, like the big noodle soup, Vietnamese noodle soup. Oh my God, it's so good. We get one every year. It's like a highlight of my trip down to Connecticut from New Hampshire is to get a burrito.
Were you in Hartford or was it at the casinos?
It was in Hartford.
Ugh. Sorry.
I don't like Hartford either. I don't like Connecticut. Connecticut's like my least favorite New England state.
Nobody likes Connecticut. Sorry, even people from there. I'm not sorry to Hartford.
Yeah, I know. No, I don't know a single person that actually enjoys Connecticut. Sorry to anybody who lives in Connecticut currently and actually enjoys their time there.
It's just like, it's so crazy that like you 100% walked by people that I like know in real life. Like 100%. 100%.
For sure. Yeah, for sure. I mean, I've run into like, I probably talked to some of them if they were selling at any booths. I just,
was there
a small world.
Honestly, I do know somebody who probably was running a booth and probably was selling Nintendo games. It's like we probably spoke to them. It's like an old guy with like a really scraggly beard. A really scraggly beard.
There's a lot of those there.
It's like
I'm trying to think of anybody in particular.
Kind of weird. Kind of mumbles a little bit.
I don't remember anybody in particular. Mostly I walked up to people and said, do you have the Hamtaro Game Boy game? And if they said no, I would say, okay, do you have Pokemon Ruby that is not a remake? Like,
do you have a real one?
A reproduction of it? And if they said yes, then I would say, okay, show it to me. And that only happened one time. Yeah, it usually was fake. And one guy had it, a real one, and we're like, okay, cool, we'll take that one, thank you, because it was like $40 if you wanted a repro.
Yeah, or 60 or whatever, 80 or whatever.
80. Yeah, no, it's too expensive. They're crazy expensive, but we had to finish it off. I think both me and Vinny did not have Ruby, and that's why we didn't have that one. It was like one of the ones we were missing. Insane.
Now you collectively do.
We have them all now as a team.
Go team, go.
We've got everything. Yeah. Now it's just the side games, which we are missing just a handful.
The mystery
of the
dungeons.
Games. Oh, we got all the mystery dungeons. We're done with those. We got all those. We got all the Pokemon Rangers. I think really the only Pokemon games we are now missing are like Pokemon Channel is one of them.
Okay.
I think that's for the GameCube.
Yeah, that's for GameCube. Do you have Hey Pikachu?
Yeah, we got Hey You Pikachu, and I've got a microphone for that bad boy. Yeah, honestly, I cannot name the ones you're missing. There's only like a really small handful. I'm trying to think. I know we need Hey You Eevee, which is we only need it physically because we have it digitally. But like
Pokemon Pinball.
Oh yeah, we got both of those bad boys. There's two of them. There's one for the Game Boy, and then there's one for the GBA.
What about the Poke Park on the Wii? Puzzle League.
I think that's one of the ones we're missing too. Puzzle League, we definitely have both. We have the one for the
Game Boy
Pokemon
and the
Color, Game Boy Color, and the
the
one, the N64 one. Yeah.
The Pokemon Rumble.
Yes, we do have those. Rumble Blast.
The puzzler one. It starts with a T.
Troze. Yep, got both of them. I think one is Pokemon. No, it's not called Troze. It's called like Shuffle or something. But yes, we got Pokemon Conquest. Got all the Rangers. Got we're like. We got most of the Pokemon. It's just like such a small, like it's like the expensive ones.
You've almost caught them all.
We've almost caught them all for Pokemon. Yeah, we just need the weird like Pokemon Channel stuff. So we'll get there eventually. Someday when we want to spend the extra money on the bad games that nobody wants, but are rare, so they're expensive.
I always occasionally I like to just look at what the most expensive GameCube games are. And I know the answer is always gonna be the stupid the Ruby and Sapphire like Pokebank for the GameCube. It was the Pokemon box for Ruby and Sapphire. If you complete
really?
box, yeah, it's like dummy money.
Oh, this, yeah, no, this is not something we'll ever own. It's too expensive. Honestly, these are not that bad. It's only like $129 on eBay.
Well, the complete in box price on price charting is $1,500.
Oh, geez. This one it says it's a PAL version. That's why.
Yeah.
That's why it's cheaper. But
Path of Radiance.
Yeah, it's not something I'm ever gonna own. I do have some pretty like pricey GameCube games. I've got Chibi Robo.
What the? Oh, this is even more. The Sonic Heroes and Super Monkey Ball Duo Pack loose goes for $3,000.
Oh. Wow.
Tarnation.
That is a tarnation right there.
The Metroid Prime and Zelda Wind Waker combo was for $800. I like to just peruse sometimes. I would rather this.
You gotta
actually
peruse every once in a while. Yeah, I've got Chibi Robo Complete in box for the GameCube, and I think that one goes for like $350.
That one, oh, I guess it went down a little. It goes for $260 now, but that's one I've always like wanted, but I would never buy it.
Chibi Robo, it's all right.
Not for that money.
Not for that money. No way. I wouldn't pay for that. I mean, it looks like, yeah, it depends on what you've got for it. If it looks like if you don't have any of the extras, let me see. This is just the disc, and it's going for $215 with no box. So,
yeah.
Yikes. That game is expensive. Too expensive. But we have it, so I don't have to worry about ever buying it. Thank God. I wouldn't buy it anyway.
Yeah.
I bought it when it was new. So
why is Disney Sports Basketball Complete in Box $608?
Because they probably made so few of them. Guarantee. That's like 9 times out of 10 why the games are worth as much as they are, is because they didn't make enough, and now it's like rare. God, Him Heartbreak is too expensive. I'm like looking at it, and it's like $60 just about everywhere. Or you could get it for $50 with $20 shipping. Why $20 shipping? I guess we should probably stop talking about.
I guess, but I had one more. Club Penguin Game Day Limited Edition Complete in Box for the Nintendo Wii is $502.
Jesus, that sounds like shovelware. Why is it $500?
Well, there's another one that one of my friends actually owns. It's called Dokapon Kingdom. Like that goes for between $150 and $200, and it's literally just really bad Mario Party. It's like a it's really bad. It's not good at all. It's horrible. And I played it, and it's another shovelware game. There's so many like
shovelware games that are worth actual money.
Yeah, like the Hello Kitty game on the Wii U is also worth dummy money. Same thing.
It's so shocking to me. That's like, I have some like couple of games that I just like see, and I'm just like, this is wacky. I'm just going to buy it. And then it turns out, like, I bought this one. It's called like, is it Moku Friends? I don't remember what it's called. I bought this random game for the 3DS, and Vinny makes fun of me. My husband makes fun of me all the time because I bought this and I like played it for like 10 minutes. And now it's worth like $85 because like it was, I guess, they made very few of them. And I just saw it at the store and I was like, I'm going to buy this because it looks really cute. It's like this little like anime, like stuffed animal collecting game. And, now it's worth like double what I paid for it. It's bonkers. It was only like 5 years ago.
Yeah,
Moko Friends. It looks absolutely crazy.
So I will occasionally buy games like physically that just like limited run type stuff, and my friend also does that same thing. And when we order something from from the UK or wherever, like usually he'll order 2 and just give me 1. At least before I moved. Now it's kind of different because we saved a lot on shipping. And we both got a copy of Snake Pass for the Switch. It's like $10 digital and is really stupid. You play as a snake and you slither, and you have to like slither and like navigate. Like you can climb stuff by slithering, and the controls are really janky.
I played this.
It's so fun.
I think I've played this game.
And I own it.
I think I have it on the Switch, but
yes,
not
it's on
digitally.
The Switch.
It was digitally. Yeah, it was digitally. I bought it.
Yeah, so I have it digitally, and I also have it physically. And it was like $40, and it's worth like over $150. So that's cool. Anyways,
jeez,
I'm nerd.
Same.
I have so much obscure knowledge.
Yeah, I mean, I'm right there with you. I love having obscure knowledge about obscure things.
And I like getting to talk about it.
Like,
Yeah, I don't even
we went
know.
off about retro games for a good 20 minutes here. Sorry, Farm RPG. We went off on a tangent.
That's what you're here
but
for,
what's it
though.
called just kicked in.
Oh, the bonus.
That's true.
Ooh.
The bonus is kicked in until Monday. So enjoy. If you guys, I mean, this will probably come out after,
Yeah.
obviously, because it'll probably come out on Tuesday. But I hope you enjoyed.
Or next
your
Tuesday.
bonus. Right.
Yes. We're recording when the bonus activates.
When the bonus activates on Thursday evening.
Yes.
All right. Well, it is also past my bedtime, so we should probably wrap her up.
Yes. Shout out to Nethy. Shout out to Orville.
Shout out to Nethy. Shout out to Orville.
Shout out to
Shout
Frank
out Cole.
and
Frank. My dearest Frank. Frank and also Frank. Secondary Frank. In all caps. The 4.
No shout out to Cole from me because trolling.
Oh, okay. I'll shout out to Cole. Cole, what's up?
ColeTroll.com.
But, yeah, Cole the Troll. Love that.
Okay. Bye.
All right. Well, bye.